But here we go. The action is underway as we literally have mirror images of each other as Chelvin and company and the other Squirtle are working through their central areas.
Looking like on the side of 5i, we're back to this 2-1-2 strategy they like to employ, putting the Hoopa in the top path alongside Dravix's Machamp play. So gonna give them a little bit more mobility sustain, and Dravix is gonna be in a good position. They get the first goal of 9 Aeos energy.
Yeah, they're trying to get those stacks up quickly, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that, and the support of Hoopa is going to help them out there. As Inferno and Dr. Ampa working behind here as there's 3 in their face. Gek getting really deep. That's the Chansey putting the pressure on. Are they going to be able to close out a KO? No, that's a little eject button by the Pikachu there as they get some points in. That's a KO. But Chansey taking out the Apprentice Unleashed Chansey as well, as Xanti's now getting the pressure on. Inferno's keeping the pressure on. You mentioned the Pikachu, and they're doing work down here. Level 4, and that Thunder is unlocked. If they wanted it, maybe went Electro Ball.
I'm assuming they're going to the Electro Ball build, but you're right. Both move selections are fantastic. When a Pokemon gets to a certain level, they unlock their moves, and they always are going to have 2 options at each slot. Electro Ball picked there for the burst damage, and like Sregals was saying last game, it is a sure hit ability. Whenever you click that button, you know that you're going to land a hit on the opposing Pokemon.
Oh, these two are chipping out. That middle Audino is contestable. However, 5i getting pushed back to their goal zone a little bit as Zervis and Gek not willing to start it off too early here. And they're still just looking to take the body of Dr. Ampa and, of course, Inferno.
Exactly. A little bit of a shout out to Zervis, the Hoopa player in Apprentice Unleashed. They love to light a candle when facing North America teams to get the server ping on their side as a pre-game ritual. Sometimes working and playing games on the internet, you need to do whatever you can do to get the internet on your side. But Zervis, this time, all EU, all the time, they are playing very, very well this tournament. You notice the light bulb above their head. One of their held items is an experience share. They chose that item to make sure that, like you said, they are leveling up the Ivysaur as much as possible. When selecting it, they're getting bonus experience to the other Pokemon in their path, and Venusaur is going to be the main recipient for Apprentice Unleashed.
Great work in that top path by 5i. Presence of 3 able to push, and they're all coming down with the Hoopa. As the action kicks off, and the Ivysaur goes down, and 5i is going to be able to pressure back Apprentice. And they send them scrambling a little bit, saying, oh, we got the express lane down here by our buddy Hoopa, and we're able to get into the action quickly. Apprentice has 1 player go down, and now they're reeling back and hanging out because the Bees are here, and that's critical experience for both squads, as those are just vaporized in the middle.
Electro Ball doing a ton of work there. It does damage to the Pokemon it hits, but it also does damage to splash damage, if you will, to every Pokemon surrounding where it hits. So getting so much value on the Bees. Inferno almost with a full pocket of Aeos energy, 28 out of 30. They are doing so well. Dravix and Inferno both playing Pokemon that are great at doing lots of damage very quickly. And that doesn't give Apprentice Unleashed the chance to heal up their teammates. However, Apprentice Unleashed needs to play a little bit safer, but they have strong team fight as well.
Great presence here, but a 5i sandbagging until Keep could get that Blastoise, and they're in the middle. That's a good Unite move that they'll have at their disposal here. As Keep is pushing forward, they rip the Unite move right there. Left side team takes it. Apprentice gets it under the nose with the Blastoise, but now they're pressuring up the Rapid Spin, putting the chase on here. As Zervis is on the chopping block, they are taken out by the Machoke, who's just feeling it. KO Streak of 2, throwing hands like it, man, chopping through that Apprentice Unleashed squad. As 5 guys sieging this bottom goal zone, despite losing the Dreadnought, and poor Gecko Kami trying to hold it down. Dravix going to bully a little bit as more points are just raining in, and they decide to leave that bottom goal zone intact.
Not very much celebration from Apprentice Unleashed about getting that Dreadnought, more like a sigh of relief that they at least got a benefit there. 5i clearing out the enemy side of Apprentice Unleashed, not to mention a ton of goals, Aeos energy deposited in that bottom tier goal zone. Fantastic work. Despite having the level 9 on Keep, they weren't able to secure it. Great amount of stuns coming out of Apprentice Unleashed to lock him in place.
Yeah, 5i putting the pressure on scaring Apprentice Unleashed off of that Rotom. There's a Unite move right back, and that's Chelvin going to try and seal it up. The Rotom is actually taken by 5i, though, as now the fight is breaking up, and that Rapid Spin is getting deep on the 5i side. And now Klaus and Chelvin just retreating a little bit, saying maybe we don't want too much more action in the top path, not with the presence that 5i has.
Chelvin with the wrinkliest of brains there. Whenever the Pokemon like Blastoise uses its Unite move, they gain the ability Unstoppable, making them immune to any hindrances or stuns. and Machamp wants to do just that. When as soon as they become unstoppable, the Machamp move is useless except for the little bit of damage it does initially. They move right past the Blastoise and they stay up there. Yes, Rotom did get secured by 5i. They are going to be celebrating that. However, Shelvin could have easily been KO'd there if they didn't make that incredibly intelligent decision to use their Unite move.
Dravik's a big old Machamp level 11 as we have Dreadnought here in 10 seconds. We're going to see how 5i postures.
No kidding. 5i using that Hoopa teleport to bring everybody back down. Keep running still in the central area, trying to level up as fast as they can. They are now at pace with Shelvin, both sitting at level 11. However, Shelvin utilized that Unite move very recently. They are not going to have it available to them.
Yeah, Apprentice Unleashed pushing out 5i a little bit. We've got the heals coming back through. The Hoopas there. They have level 9. Both of them do. They can both go Hoopa Unbound and get the team fight started. There you go. 5i says, I'm after it, so Apprentice Unleashed follows. And now the Rapid Spin going up top near the Bees, but the fight's breaking out on the beach as the Dreadnought's getting shredded and the left side team takes it again. Just absolute nasty business by the Lucario as they take it. The Blissey gets the KO on Lucario back the other way as they're only one player down for Apprentice, but here comes Zanti, here comes Dr. Ampa, and that's another KO. The Pikachu falls. They're squishy, and they are taken out immediately. As there goes the Blissey as well on the back of the Blastoise. These are Hydro Cannons, and you're a squishy marshmallow chucking eggs. What are you thinking, Chief? Going down as 5i is just forced to retreat and hold down this goal zone to the best of their ability. Gonna catch that hyperspace hole for the heals on the Machamp, and things are settling down.
So much to break down of that team fight, but I think the shining star there is Klaus, able to use the extreme speed move of Lucario, high mobility, and they're not able to be stopped, and they steal the Dreadnought right from underneath 5i's nose. They should have been able to KO that Pokemon. They had it all the rights to them. However, Klaus is able to take it away, and now the levels are very, very similar across the board, but Apprentice with a slight advantage. Gecko Kami on this Blissey, by the way, put a great stop to keep running right near the end of that team fight. Keep could have pushed their advantage, found a KO, but the Egg Bomb knockup was too much for them to deal with. They had to retreat.
Absolutely. Apprentice Unleashed taking the road and without too much contention here as Brian just going to sit on that goal zone hyperspace hole in case the company wants to come follow them. Dr. Ampa does, and they're going to try and hold it down here with Inferno taking the backline spot. Dravik's just scoring 49 on the backside, getting those points up. We know Dravik's is the one to get on the scoreboard quickly. Big Unite by the Pikachu, going to try and rip in some damage here and see if 5i can leverage battling from their own goal zone. They get a little experience boost, or excuse me, a little HP boost, a little shield boost by doing so there. And finally, it's all about just working through this Rotom, settling that out and taking a deep breath because 25 seconds until Zapdos.
In Pokemon Unite, you have access to your Unite move once you level up high enough. However, that Unite move, albeit very, very powerful, has a longer time to charge up than any of your other moves. That being said, Pikachu's is particularly quick, so they are able to utilize it late into the game. However, only 8 seconds until the final stretch starts, all of the AS energy becomes double scoring, and Zapdos is entering into the field. Wow, fantastic work there by Brian to get reset just at the last possible second. They make it back home safe, and they are headed towards the Zapdos pit.
Just absolutely shoulder shaking him down there. The Hoopa able to get out without getting KO'd, and that would have been bad news bears here on the under 2 minute mark as Dr. Ampa's bubbling. Look at them chipping in. Apprentice Unleashed getting some good positional control over the central area. And here comes Brian, Hoopa Unbound, going to kick it off, and they're just throwing those fists right in the face, trying to stun him down as the pressure comes through. That's a Bliss Assistance on the Venusaur, and a big Unite move by the Blastoise. We're pushing through. Nobody's down yet. There's the first domino to fall. It's the Blissey. The Venusaur gets the KO. Hoopa sends one back into their counterpart, and now the Venusaur's down for Apprentice Unleashed. 2 down for 5i. The pressure is on. The Pikachu takes out the Lucario, and now we're moving back the other way. There's 2 players down for Apprentice Unleashed, and 5i is getting some good positional advantage. Dravik's is going for the quick score downstairs. No, they peel back up to see where Chelvin is. Chelvin's taking a look. 5i keeps getting in the middle. Rapid spin, and there you go. The right side team takes it. 5i gets another Zapdos. Is that just the story of this squad here as Keep goes through? Inferno gonna dunk, and then they're just gonna get in those dunkets, those double buckets here under 2 minutes. Straight hundo burger time. Defense for Apprentice Unleashed is the word.
They have to defend as much as they can, down 206 to 505. There's only 45 seconds left in the game, and scoring is going to be very, very tough with only one member of 5i KO'd currently. The rush down does begin here. It's a monumental hill to climb, but Apprentice Unleashed is capable of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, Klaus on the backside of nowhere. Unite move out of the Pikachu. They're going to try to hunt them down. Electro Ball seals the deal. And now they're back onto the bottom path. Maybe that was just a little distraction. Apprentice Unleashed all over this goal zone. They're going to be able to get a good amount of points in here. The Venusaur gets a hundo banger. And now it's 581 to 366. 10 seconds on the clock. And they need all of these points to go in. 5i just needs to hold just a bit longer. 5 seconds. Big Unite move in the middle. Use it if you got them. As they're trying to get points in. Plus 24 on the backside. 5i going to take game 1.
5i takes it in. That seems to be their iconic fashion. Electro Ball. It seems like there is a target for it directly on top of the Zapdos head. Inferno making sure they secure that in every situation.
But here we go. Keep on the left-hand side of your screen. Chelvin on the right. Both Squirtles going to try and make it to War Turtle and make their impact felt on whichever path they elect to go to.
Exactly, yeah. Sometimes the path that they decide to move into is dictated by where they start, either on grass side or beach side, but it seems like both of these Pokemon have elected to move towards the top. Again, Apprentice is actually changing up their strategy a little bit. Now a Hoopa and Zervis is joining Klaus in this top path.
Yeah, trying to bring some parity up there and not let Dravix get too far ahead. Of course, Dravix weaker than Lucario in the early game, but does scale stronger in the tail end of the game. That's what we often see out of these stage 2s. So not a bad adjustment by Apprentice.
Klaus obviously winning a lot of the contests in this top path. 23 Aeos Energy and well on their way to level 5. They're going to hit this first bees with no problem. Extreme speed, when utilized with these bees, it just pays dividends to whatever Pokemon has that unlocked. The other side, Machop, level 4, almost at level 5, but at 850, Vespiquen and the Cone Bees show up.
Yeah, and it's a 3-on-3 now. So those bees are just dusted. I don't even think they populated on the map. I think the game just divided those bees' experience by 6 and sent them both ways. Here we go. Service and Klaus, that's all they wanted to do here as they're going down to get some of those middle wild Pokemon.
Exactly. Wild Pokemon, get that experience up as much as possible. Keep immediately after those bees has headed back into their central area. Chelvin sticking around for a little bit longer, wanting to see if they can find value, KOing an opponent Pokemon, which gives you a ton of experience, especially on this most recent balance patch.
Yeah, Zanti already have an Ivysaur, excuse me, and that's a good place to be. Inferno trying to chip in and make their presence known here, falling from the skies with those lightning bolts by Inferno, chipping into Zanti. They get caught on the web, the Electro Web, and just enough to make them sent back. No, Zanti keeps pushing forward. I'm about that action as they send in a Razor Leaf to try and get that cheeky secure. Unfortunately, they fall a bit short, but not a bad look by Apprentice Unleashed.
Great idea from Zanti to attempt it, though. A Venusaur, a Pokemon we talked about it so much, scales into the late game, does very, very well near the end of the game when they've hit their levels. Early game, though, Pikachu is always going to have the advantage within the path. Venusaur, it's tough to out-secure a Pikachu, especially with moves like Electro Ball, Electro Web, and even Thunder if they elect into it. So Venusaur needs to make these risks to try to knock out Pokemon, gain experience, and try to catch up to the early game lead that Pikachu will often have.
Brian just trying to hold it down again, yet alone, and Klaus getting a good share of that experience, and so's the rest of Apprentice Unleashed, as Brian just was forced to chip in and just try and hold their own in the top path, because Dreadnought is right around the corner.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm really, really excited to see how this first Dreadnought actually kicks off. Now we're hitting it 7 minutes, a very important Pokemon, granting your team shields and experience if you knock it out. So obviously gonna be of impetus for both of these teams. What I am looking at right now is the central area players. Both of the War Turtles have hit level 8, not quite 9 yet. They won't have their Unite moves, but they may get it some point during this team fight.
Yeah, that's a rapid spin right in there. Klaus dives in too. Brian's low. They're darting across. Who's the first on the chopping block? Is it going to be Klaus? Dravix is on the chase. Sick Electro Ball in combination with the Machoke, and they get the KO there as Apprentice Unleashed is on the bottom side of the beach, and they're trying to get pushed down as there's another KO on the Machoke, finally by the War Turtle here. That Dreadnought gets fluffy tailed, and we're working through. Right side team takes it. That's a Blissey with the Egg Bomb, and we're pushing back forward. That's a rapid spin into the face as Apprentice Unleashed just yanks that turtle out of nowhere right under 5i, and even though Dravix got that big KO, it doesn't pay dividends here as Apprentice Unleashed is going to try and get some points in this bottom goal zone.
Blissey's Egg Bomb, such a fantastic securing ability. Support Pokemon and defenders have a little bit of an extra stat boost when knocking out wild Pokemon whenever they hit level 5s and 9. Gecko Kami hitting that slight boost actually out-secures Inferno's iconic wild Pokemon securing Electro Ball. So no small feat from Gecko Kami. Great work in doing so. Egg Bomb has been the flavor of the week. This meta's defense defining for the defender Pokemon in that role. Dravix, though, has now hit the level 9, but Champ's Unite move is a terrifying one. Does so much damage, so much controlling of space as well, and Dravix has been an expert with it all tournament.
I mean, that is a sick cross-chop dynamic punch duo there from Dravix, and that's going to be able to do a lot of work against Apprentice Unleashed if they're not paying attention. Kelvin and Klaus coming through, they're going to try and nab this Rotom. It's an objective that they want, but it doesn't one they actually need if they don't want to. They're taking the team fight here as Apprentice Unleashed is just trying to keep their legs under them and not get KO'd too bad. The Blastoise is pushing forward, and that's Keep, of course, as they're trying to see if they can get a KO somewhere. Dr. Ampa egg bombing in as Apprentice Unleashed is going to sort this Rotom out in short order.
The Rotom does get KO, but it was an important one. Drew 3 or 4 of the members of Apprentice Unleashed to deal with it. And because it's so important, you have to look at the HP remaining on the tier 1 goal zone in the top half. 26 Aeos energy need to be deposited to break it. Rotom only does 20, leaving it on 6, which allows you to be able to set up for a gigantic overdunk if you need to do so. So 5i threatening to score a lot of points if Apprentice Unleashed does not take care of that Rotom.
Very well said. Now, Apprentice Unleashed is just, look at how far Gecko Kami is playing to get some good vision on the other team. Zante, of course, and Zervis chipping into this Dreadnought, going to get it started, as there's 2 players for 5i busy up top getting points in, and of course the Hoopas and their Rings Unbound can pull everybody through, and of course they do. That Dreadnought's dusted by the Blissey again with the Egg Bomb, of course, and that's a Unite move by the Blastoise. Pokebuki, sick animations there, Chief, as they're pushing back through. Rapid Spin, Chelvin coming up, and now we're just pushing through. One player down on each side. That's the Blissey, that's Lucario. Is there anyone else that's going to go down here in this bottom goal zone siege? The Blastoise is on the verge. They get picked up by the Blissey. They're going back the other way, and a hyperspace hole going to send them back, bring them back in with full HP. Are they going to keep that action going? They're back in the face of 5i, who just retreat.
The support Pokemon from Apprentice Unleashed have absolutely been the MVPs today. Plus on a little bit of a hunt here, but Zervis and Gecko Kami have been doing so much work for their teams, securing Dreadnoughts, getting their team out, and now Dravix just barely makes it away thanks to that hyperspace hole speed buff from Brian.
Yeah, just a good combo with that cross chop getting right into their goal zone. As they're just chipping back and forth on this B. Who's going to take it? Who's going to take it? Experience and Rotom is here. That's the next objective hitting the map.
No kidding. Apprentice Unleashed has got their feet underneath them now. It seems like 2 Dreadnoughts to none on their side. Experience going to be raining on their team. Only 1 goal zone broken in the entire game so far. So pretty low scoring game, 114 to 82. Neither team is going to have a huge advantage when Zapdos spawns in at 2 minutes, meaning that both teams are going to have to play for position.
Look at that big egg bomb. And the Unite move by the Pikachu comes through, and they get a KO for that effort. Here's the Blissey goes down. KO Shrika 2. The Hoopa went down as well, as they're going to get some big points into this goal zone here. And that is a great overcap by that squad. 5i and Inferno, the Pikachu doing work, but Apprentice Unleashed not letting them off the hook early. They get a good, 49 points. Let's go. And we know that goal zone was low as well. And look at the scoreboard, 211 to 151 going into the final throws of this game.
Dupes Next, I was just saying that the point advantage was going to be really close. 5i completely flips that on their head with a fantastic team fight win on the back of Inferno's Unite move. So strong, and like we were mentioning before, charges extremely quickly. However, when it's only dealing damage to buddy barrier shields and things like that, not as powerful. Ooh, Shadow Ball not quite knocking out that wild Pokemon because of the evolution of its ability frames. Brian goes back to reclaim what was rightfully theirs with a Shadow Ball.
Yeah, just a little bit of posturing down here as everybody's waiting. Who's going to kick off the action? Gek and Klaus is trying to leash people along. Dravix and Key working up top. Are they going for some back cap, or is that just a distraction? Dravix going for it, and straight up going for it, and the Hoops Unbound here, and the Blissey in the bottom corner there, and there's 50 going back the other way by the Blastoise, and they're going to use these this Hoopa Unbound to pull everybody through if it's necessary here, and the action is not up yet. That was just a hyperspace hole. Nobody using their Unite moves quite yet. Well, there you go. Zervin says, you're wrong, Kirk. We about this action, and there you go. The dynamic punch and the Unite move with the Bliss Assistance. Going to chase down 2. Brian's on the chopping block. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. And then we're back into Klaus as they're working on the Bliss. That was a Bliss Assistance back the other way. As Zanti gets KO'd, a KO streak of 2 for Dravix. Can they get the third? They do. They have a huge lead. Does 5i and Dravix putting just an absolute nail into the proverbial coffin there with a big KO streak of 3 on Apprentice Unleashed.
Both Hoopas knocked out right now. Resetting is going to have to become a much bigger chore than it normally is. Have to reset all the way back to base if you want to regain that HP. HP. Apprentice Unleashed spread across the map a ton. Zerva's forced down here. They cannot allow another 50 to go in from Dravix. Brian finally back is going to be able to give their team the HP resets that they need. No hoops unbound for either team, though. They already used it at the start of Zapdos.
There we go. We're working through, and the rapid spins are all over Zapdos. Zapdos just a shade over half HP. Where can Dravix go ahead and find their next KO? They're looking forward. The teams are sticking far apart from each other. They're actually just chipping in the middle. Zante playing forward, just trying to catch somebody in the pedal dance here, and the Venusaur actually gets it off the back of the pedal dance. Are they going to be able to convert? They need to get somebody there. Is the Blissey up top? The Blissey's close. The Blissey needs to get in. Dravix trying to score on the backside. Is the difference going to be made? The Machamp is stopped. The Machamp is stopped. Plus 88, plus 100. I think Apprentice Unleashed might have just clutched this thing out with those last-minute heroics.
Kelvin rolls back to base, is able to launch from the jump pad, stops Dravix, which must have been a millisecond away from scoring an entire 50.
Just an added line or just an added layer of what's on the line here. Just everybody going to protect their pocket picks and see who's the best on what when here in Game 3 to see who punches their ticket to the Grand Finals.
Also, don't forget, in the Grand Finals, you're going to be going up against the force of random gaming. Maybe you need to start playing some other picks and getting practice for that matchup. Who knows? I doubt practice is on the mind of either of these teams, though. Tied up 1-1. This is for a lot. Championship points, money, and a chance at first place in our Aeos Cup. Everybody's pushing to the top. We got a 2-1-2 split from both teams, and Zervis gets the first KO of the match.
That's going to be something that they're looking for. Is Inferno going to go down? They put the chase. Zante saying Pikachu on Pikachu. I've got that Christmas Hollowware, and there's a gift for you right in your face. Keep it packing, Inferno. Love that look. Zante early pressure, and that's something that they can't really afford to do when they're playing that Venusaur.
Merry Christmas, you filthy Pokemon. Zante finds another KO. Bottom path advantage, top path advantage. Apprentice Unleashed, very early game in this first minute. Definitely showing signs of fantastic life here. However, 5i, no slouches. They found ways to come back from these little increments, of course. We have both central area players at level 5. I keep talking about it because if either of them can get their Unite move within that Dreadnought fight, it can be an absolute game changer.
Klaus hitting Machoke before their opposition here. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic as they're going to try and keep that Machop from evolving, and that's something that obviously Dravix critically needs. Zervis and Klaus doing a good job bubbling 5i from getting those last hits.
I'm really interested to see the move selection on both these Machamps. So far, we have seen Dravix playing the Dynamic Punch Cross Chop. Very, very, very high mobility, wanting to move as much as possible around the battlefield. Never want to be caught by the side of Apprentice Unleashed. Klaus, though, I'm not sure where they want to go. Lock someone down with submission, throw a ton of hands in close combat. They have move selections available to them, or will they match the side of Dravix?
Well, it starts with leveling up as Dravix finally hits Machoke here, and we're still split 2-1-2, so the action's a little slow as Dravix is actually kind of standing, just laying in the bushes, waiting for a pick here. As the action getting kicked off, Brian leading the charge with the Hoopa. That's a 2-on-1, and that's a good little catch as they're able to get in good damage on Apprentice Unleashed.
Brian with a huge stun there as well. That stun locking two of them in place could have been catastrophic for the other side. Double Electro Ball. I think a Blissey actually went home with that Autono knockout. Grandpa gets it, but Zante wins in the end.
Zante really outscaling the opposing Pikachu level 6, using their Electro Balls to close the door and get some of that KO experience. And now they're getting a majority of these Bs as Inferno's trying to get their fair share, but they might be a little late to the party.
There's a concept called aggro in a lot of these team battler video games. That means when the wild Pokemon or non-player controlled Pokemon move in your direction. So great work from Apprentice Unleashed, taking the aggro on the wild Pokemon, bringing them to their side.
Oh, Apprentice Unleashed is absolutely ripping this thing. Where is 5i? Inferno tries to make a prayer play, but it's way too late, and they might get caught for that as the pusher's back into the 5i's face, and they're just babysitting their own goal zone. Is Apprentice Unleashed going to let them off the hook? They are, it seems, for now.
Apprentice Unleashed took the Dreadnought, great work, but the reason you don't see that bottom tier goal zone siege is because no Unite moves were unlocked yet. So they just finally hitting that 9 they did. If they had Unite moves, I really do think that'd be a different story. That objective would be rushed down, and they would utilize those Unite moves when they know that 5i would not have them available.
Look how fed. Zante is getting a KO on their counterpart Inferno here. Just absolute great work by the Thunder Mouse, and they're showing why they represent this game. They are already level 9.
Apprentice Unleashed really has found another gear that they've entered into in this game 3. Rotom even being pushed in, Klaus, Gek, and Shelvin all here to throw hands, and actually a 24 points deposited in this goal zone.
Oh, they're playing deep, and 5i forced to retreat down their own path as more points are raining in, and that goal zone is left at 6. 15 seconds. We'll see if the Blastoise can get a big overdunk here, as that's what they're waiting for. Just a dunk of 4. They're trying to shrink that thing down to the best, and that Rapid Spin might just go. No, they just walk in. Why Rapid Spin when I go walk in? Rapid Spin going the other way, and that's a Rapid Spin to get out. Great overcap by Apprentice Unleashed.
Again, great micro gameplay and heads-up knowledge by Shelvin. If they do Rapid Spin there, that move cooldown would probably last too long for them to be able to score with the Rotom leaving that base defenseless. So they get a gigantic over dunk of Aeos energy. 159 to 43 right now. Apprentice Unleashed tearing it up in terms of levels and with a huge point advantage. Not to mention, both goal zones are up right now. So this second Dreadnought fight, both teams will have a place to retreat to should they need to heal up and get some berries. The biggest difference, though, I'm looking at, Zervis has hit level 9. Hoopa has the Hoops Unbound Unite move. Looks like Brian will just take over to 9 at the start of this team fight, though.
That's exactly what I was going to Pwnite Swings, and you hit it right the nail on the head. Here we go. We're waiting for Dreadnoughts. The Shadow Balls are flying in. Dreadnoughts getting chipped in. Rapid Spin going to try and buy some space here, as that's the first Hoopa Unbound. Are they going to match on the other side? No, they're portaling back to get some HP, but here's Brian. There we go. There we go. They're unshackled now, and the fists are flying left sides go. That's a Unite move by Chelvin that's going to clutch it out, and a Unite move back the other way by the other Blastoise, and they're pushing through, but it's Dravix getting the KO on the Pikachu, and they're going to see if they can leverage the Spore, but they're on the chase. Chelvin, they're going to be able to take them out. They're chipping in, finally close the door on them, and that's a big KO for Apprentice Unleashed as they're pushing back the other way, and Brian's getting chased. They're going to get sucked through the hyperspace hole for that full here. Klaus getting caught by the Pikachu. Here's Inferno's trying to close it down. Was that a Unite move by the Machamp to buy some space? It was. The Hoopa gets the KO on the Pikachu, and Apprentice Unleashed, where they looked they were on the ropes, absolutely roar back and get those KOs and close the door on this bottom path domination.
No kidding, and look at how fast this rotation is for Apprentice Unleashed. They are playing together so well. Zervis throws down the hyperspace hole, sends the entire team up to the top path, but they stay in the bottom path. Great decision. Now they can defend this goal zone from Brian and also bring their entire team back should things get a little too scary for just that Hoopa on defense.
Yeah, the hyperspace hole's coming out, and what I like to use that as is that's almost like a red signal to 5i, like a bunch of players might come roaring through here, and of course they are brought through. Unite move that Blastoise again, gonna buy some space as Apprentice Unleashed is gonna get some more points in this goal zone and close it out. What a look as 5i is just left to babysit this Rotom in the top half.
This game is getting out of hand. Apprentice Unleashed with a gigantic score lead, 232 to 70, and a huge point lead. 2 Pokemon on level 12, a third on 3 and 4 and 5 on level 11. The other side, we still have a level 9 Hoopa. They hit that last Dreadnought, and we're about to see another Dreadnought populate in 20 seconds. That 5i really needs to find a way to level up their carry Pokemon, and they need to do it really, really quick.
Worst thing Klaus can do is to give up some KOs to the other team here as they have the experience advantage. 5i keeps going to go back to base here. Brian and Dr. Amp are going to watch it from the up top as there's a Dreadnought that just spawned.
The Dreadnought spawned, neither team showing too much presence, but the hyperspace hole from Zervis is going to send down their squad to start taking a look at it. 5i not showing too much presence towards it, probably trying to posture and get set up for a Zapdos fight. Take a look at where Dravix is on your mini-map, actually in the central area, leveling up as much as they need to, not to mention getting the blue and red buff, gonna make them quite strong in this final team fight. And where else has 5i shown their true strength if not in the Zapdos team fight at 2 minutes? Right now, Apprentice Unleashed has all the positioning in the world. 5i, though, will probably Hoopa Unbound their entire team in for the fight.
Dravix just looking to see where they can make their impact felt. All of the pockets are full for 5i, which means if they can get this Zapdos, they do have enough points on their side of the board to convert on that.
Absolutely. 232 to 70, and we see keep running with a really long flank, trying to keep invisible on the mini-map of Apprentice. However, now the Hoopa Unbound has started. Here we go. Zapdos vote kicks off.
Yeah, Five Eyes in the mix here. That's a Unite move by the Machamp. Catch. Oh, everybody gets caught by the Blastoise there, popped up. Blissey closing out with the Egg Bomb. Everybody's getting KO'd. Zanti on the Blissey too. And holy smokes, the Five Eyes are falling like dominoes here as the Zapdos goes to Apprentice Unleashed in what is absolute utter domination. Five Eye, get off of our lawn. Apprentice Unleashed is going to punch their ticket here as they're going to rain in a bunch of points as Five Eye is just trying to respawn.
Apprentice Unleashed, eternal top 6 cursed, broken. They are going to be headed to the grand final, 732 to 70. The scoreline can't be much different than it is right now. Apprentice Unleashed honestly took a play out of Five Eye's book with the Machamp Unite move, just teeing up Shelvin to launch a Hydro Typhoon for the century. They knock up everybody from Five Eye. There's a full 5 Pokemon KO'd, and Apprentice Unleashed with such a commanding lead, it would be impossible for Five Eye to come back right now. They find themselves in the grand finals. What a storyline for Unleashed.
What a storyline for both of these teams. Five Eye carving their path here and earning the respect of EU across the board, finally making it into this top 4, then a top 3 spot. Apprentice Unleashed, though, going to see them in the grand finals as the Unite moves are flying into Five Eye, and that's just for the sake of flavor here, as though, of course, there's 5 seconds on the clock, and both teams are celebrating their tournament run so far. Apprentice Unleashed, still work to be done.
Obviously, yeah, amazing showing from both of these squads. Job not done for Apprentice Unleashed. However, Five Eye cannot hang their heads too low. Our 3rd place in the Aeos Cup, easily our hardest tournament in EU so far.